Okay, let me buy some fuel. In fact, let me get some extra dollar really quick. There's no reason not to spend my dice. Money, 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 money. Money. And yeah, we'll pour it all in. Fuck it, we'll bet it all. We'll bet it all on pink and lose energy as a result. That's twice that's happened in the session now. Yeah, I'll get a meal. And speaking of, the new sugar Conroy Soul Silver Pod is out. And we need fuel, is what we need. Bleh. No, that's not what I want. I keep pressing B to to put away the drive menu, but it's just the same button. Off we go. This really does look nice. I really like this paint job. Ooh! Alright, I think we're done then. Well, I think this bit's done. The biosphere, once barren, is transformed. Oh, it's all pretty now. Where it was once dry and grey, it now swirls with amber dust, a hazy cloud cut through while the bone-white tendrils, with the bone-white tendrils of steppe silk. Aki in mask and goggles. She's not wearing either of those. We can afford a different portrait. Lets the biosphere circulate. Only one character got one, and that was Seraphim. Lets the biosphere no, Flint got one as well inside of common. So they could have gotten one for Aki then, I don't know. Let's just imagine she's wearing a mask and goggles. Anyway, Aki in mask and goggles lets the biosphere circulating air play with the end of her scarf, twirling and twisting, even threatening to rip it from her neck. That scarf, she has explained, is woven from the bast fibers of the steppe silk itself. That is why this place is known as Weaver's Fields, for the workshops of Greenbelt residents creating fabric from its steppe silk fibers. Are you feeling the fiber of the fabric? Anytime I get to use that quote, I'm gonna take it. Weavers who fled from Ember Steppe and those who taught afresh by Aki herself. Isn't it beautiful? Aki asks, her eyes glowing. Ember Steppe reborn on this rock. But not as an archive, as something new. The plants themselves are reconfigured, the steppe silk adapts well to the microgravity, even thrives, and the dust itself becomes a cloud that surrounds it. Aki points to a tendril stretching across the space. What was once a burrowing plant is now a bridging plant. Like us, it projects itself across empty space, pushing out into its new conditions. Aki looks at you. Sorry, I'm rambling. This place does that to me. Her chuckle is muffled by a mask. It is beautiful. Aki bows. Thank you. Glad you like it. Let's leave the dust out so we can talk more easily outside. She shepherds you through some nearby double doors, the space between blasting you with air to clean away the dust. Anybody? No, dust. You find yourself in a sparse room, racks of unfamiliar tools on the wall, slit-like windows looking out into the amber dust storm. I almost misread that as armbar. The Ronda Rousey dust storm. This is just the beginning for us. Aki slipped off her mask and her voice is crisp and bright above the rumbling of the air recyclers. The steppe silk is already being harvested, retted, and woven. This is no synthetic fiber from the dark side looms. This is a natural fabric out here in this unnatural place. Aki brushes the little dust away. We will trade it and get what Greenbelt needs to stay stable, to feed its people. I am the administrator, but the workers are the owners here. And we will make a future for ourselves from our work. Aki shrugs. We control our path. What more could we want? Silence falls in the room, the idea of such a future so desirable that it is almost painful, an idea that haunts you. You can spend as much time here as you like. Aki breaks the silence, so may wear of your thoughts. I find the noise soothes me. Thank you. Aki bows gently. You leave Aki in her dust house surrounded by the landscape of her homeworld, one of many creatures born on the parched moon that is in the process of transforming into something new. Ooh, more upgrade points. Oh, I can get fuel here. I didn't think I could. That's so handy. Although that must be a new addition. Unless it was there before and I just didn't notice it. Not sure I want to buy all these. Do I do one of these, like, to increase it further? Yeah, I'm gonna max this one out. I'm gonna max out my engineering. Yeah, it's kind of a shame you can't upgrade crew members, because I think that would be a handy mechanic. Alright then. Well, I guess we're gonna try and end things. The Wheat Chief is surprisingly welcoming for what was once an old Solheim canteen. The corporate bones are still there, metal stalls, a strip of surface windows, sheet metal walls, but over the tens of thousands of cycles since the collapse, they've been softened and changed, layered with the detritus of human existence. As you wait at the bar with Seraphin, you look at the planters welded into the walls, the scrawled messages, the layers of stickers and flyers and posters, the amber light fittings replacing the old fluorescent strips, the gear racks lined with farmers' packs, the netting bulging with crates and canisters. Along with the low rumble of conversation coming from the off-shift farmers, it all lends a warmth to the place, one that helps soothe your nerves ahead of the meet with Carmen. You and Seraphin lean side by side at the bar, facing towards the room. You both watch Flint just across from you, who insisted on coming along. Seraphin clears his throat. What do you think of Cadence? The sudden question makes you look over at him, and you see he's playing with his coin spinning in his palm. I'm not gonna try and make him jazz, like, dude's got a massive crush on it. What do you mean? Seraphin shakes his head and turns to you. You know what I mean. He closes his hand on the coin. I think he pauses and then starts again. We kind of have a thing. He shakes his head. You know what I mean. I didn't realize. No. I noticed. Yeah, he smiles. I thought you might. Well, Seraphin's... Also, the game was quite open about it. Well, Seraphin sighs and stretches? I guess I just wanted you to know. You're thinking how to respond when the bartender taps you on the shoulder and nods towards the door to the back room. It's time. You look over at Seraphin and Flint, who is already approaching you. You give them a nod and head inside. The back room is metal walled and lined with racks of old Solheim tech. You see cookers. You see cookers and underwash units piled up with dead terminals and servers. At the far end, a window looks out across the greening glass of Greenbelt's farms. You made it, Carmen smiles, backlit by the window. We have a lot to discuss. Good to see you. Flint, if you don't mind. Try to be polite. Carmen just wants to get into business. Carmen nods at the other sleeper as they enter and gestures towards the door. Flint turns to you. I'll be outside. They slide the door shut, standing guard on the other side. We have to take some precautions even here. Carmen gestures for you to come closer. So, Seraphin sighs, is this plan of ours looking any more reasonable? That depends on what your crew can bring to the table. Carmen glances at you. We are going to need to do a lot of work to direct the data Ankita gave you towards those that we need to see it. Who's that? We've met her. What do you have in mind? We need to reveal Lane's betrayal to Utsubo and Darkseid without being discovered in the process. Not an easy task. Ankita can help us. You must. Carmen looks away. Without her, this plan is impossible. Impossible. Then we make contact with Ankita as soon as we make it onto Darkseid. Seraphin looks at you. We just need to stay under Lane's radar. The thought of Lane brings the memory of his attempted takeover to the front of your mind. The feeling of him slipping behind your eyes, moving your frame. That can't happen again. Apologies, we do not wish to interrupt, but we must interject in your current course. Overseer appears in the void, flickering nervously. An encounter with Lane would likely be catastrophic. Overseer's three forms orbit you. As we have mentioned, on arrival to Hapep, we must immediately seek the mainframe, from where we can recover my codebase and reconstruct ourselves. We will then be able to aid you in your defenses against being rewritten. This is our recommended course. The three heads nod simultaneously and decisively. So with this sleeper, you come back to Seraphin's concerned face. You dropped out for a second. I mean, I've got no reason not to tell him that I've got three programs in my head that are trying to help me not die. You tell Seraphin and Common about Overseer, about how the old Solheim protocol slipped into your frame from the prime ship mine Jean-Mi used in the diagnostic process, of Overseer's protection from Lane's attempts to control you, of its proposal to make that protection effective through the old mainframe of Darkseid. They listen quietly, Seraphin carefully watching you as you explain. Revealing all this, you feel the burden of holding that knowledge alone being lifted. This changes things. Carmen turns and looks out at the large window at the back of the room, towards the glass canopy of the farms. We can't take on Lane without protecting you from him. Carmen turns back. You should look for the mainframe. I will make contact with Ankita, and we will meet when you're ready. But this has to remain secret from Lane and Utsubo. If you are revealed, I'm not sure I'll be able to recover you. By the time you have ensured your safety, I will have put together a plan with Ankita to expose Lane. We take it step by step. The crux will be to find a way to disseminate the data we have on Lane to his gang, or even Dockside at large. Carmen stops, the path ahead still unclear to him. There is a nervous intake of breath from Seraphin. You share his apprehension. There are so many variables at play here. I'm so sorry. I see the phrase, so many variables at play, and I just think of the first Letterkenny sketch. I think it was the first one I saw, where Wayne, Dan, and Dario just, like, on the porch, talking about the possibility of Ants riding Sea-Doo, jet skis. And Wayne just going, there's a lot of variables at play, obviously. But if you ask me if I've heard of crazier things than Ants riding Sea-Doos, I'd say sure. Fuck. Anyway, some of the old tech strapped to a nearby rack flickers with a cascade of status lights. You will turn to look, and as you do, motors and servos begin spinning within the machines, whining and groaning. They harmonize, then begin to produce a voice. Apologies, the voice is shrill and distorted. We must interpose ourselves. You recognize the tone immediately. Overseer. It's weird. This didn't happen in the first game. I don't think it did. Like, seeing a program, like, without the black background, they're just here. That is so interesting. We are regretful Solheim hardware in this room provided the opportunity for us to speak for ourselves. If the pile of servers Overseer was controlling could look any more apologetic, you imagine it would. Say what you have to say. A server clicks nervously, but Overseer does not immediately respond. We ascertain you require dissemination of data within facility you target. The wine pitches higher as the motors increase their speed. As a Solheim protocol, we have capabilities to instigate station-wide announcements and messaging. So you could blast out Lane's betrayal through Darkside's corporate hardlines and flood the network with it? Seraphin looks impatiently at the screeching pile of scrap. If that is what you require of us, we are pleased to serve. The shrill tone of the response makes you cringe. Even more than the numbers 6 and 7 sit next to each other. Carmen has been listening silently, but now he interjects. Why would we trust you? He glances in your direction. You seem to be a little more than a parasite in the sleeper's system. If we use your unflattering analogy, then you will understand that a parasite requires the body of its host to live. The motor stutter. We will ensure the sleeper's continuance. And afterwards, Carmen folds his arms. When you have what you want and regain your codebase from the mainframe, will you do as we ask? We will endeavour to do so. The acrid smell of burning motors now fills the room. But we will undergo a transformative refactoring. We will become whole again. So we cannot speak to our actions in future with certainty. Seraphin and Carmen exchange concerned looks. We can do what you require. We will protect the sleeper. We will disseminate the data. We are a service protocol. We will serve. The motors and servos stutter and whine and then go still, the status lights blinking and then fading to darkness. Overseer has retreated. We aren't actually going to do what the ghost says, are we? Seraphin looks between you and Carmen. Oh yeah, they can just see it now, apparently. Yeah, that was the thing living in my head. It's a lot more pleasant than the thing that lived in my head in the first game. The first game where I saved God from a Dr. Pepper machine. The offer is a tempting one, and one that ultimately we cannot refuse. Carmen sighs, but we must proceed with extreme care and caution. What do you think, Sleeper? Seraphin meets your eye. You know, Overseer has not given me reason not to trust them. I think I trust them. Seraphin sighs. That's that. We have our plan. Carmen turns to you. Sleeper, you and your crew will find the mainframe and access it. I will find Ankita. She will help us disseminate the evidence of Lane's collusions through Subo, and then, as a fallback, Overseer will send it through the old networks to all of Darkside. A simple plan. Good band, them. Until you get to the details. Seraphin looks down, frustrated. Speaking of plans, I have a present for you. One that will improve our chances. Carmen pulls a small box from the nearest rack, one you hadn't noticed before, and it hinges open, revealing a chunk of tech you don't recognize. It's a smooth transponder! Yay, we need that. It will conceal your ship on approach to Darkside, give it a new identity, one unlikely to draw attention from the Utsubo-controlled docking admin. I mean, I paid for, like, a new paint job. Then again, my ship is the same, like, size as it always has been, but I got a new paint job. Yeah, well, you would think, like, maybe Lane doesn't realize. Maybe he just looks and he's like, oh, that's a cool-looking ship. You don't know. Seraphin takes the... ship on pressure Darkside, give it a new identity, one likely to draw attention from the Utsubo control docking admin. I don't think I read all that, but I have now. Seraphin takes the transponder and turns it over. Why did you get this? Even retired mercenaries have their secrets, Carmen smiles. Seraphim looks at you. I'll be with you this time, Sleeper, he nods. We should think who else we want on the station, too. I agree, Carmen interrupts. Make sure you trust those you bring with you, and prepare as best as you can. We can't know how this will play out. You nod. You get one shot at this. Then we're ready. Carmen takes a breath. I have my own way of getting it onto dockside, but here, he passes you a small strip of plastic sent with the numbers. My private frequency. When you are on approach to the dockside, message me here and I will sync up my transit. He points at the transponder in Seraphim's hand. Just make sure to install that first. Seraphim nods. We've got it. He sighs, the weight of the task ahead suddenly very apparent. Well, I suppose that's it. Carmen gives you both a serious look. It is. He smiles. Don't leave me waiting long. There'll be more time when this is all over. Time where you don't have to keep looking over your shoulder, I hope. You leave Carmen in the back of the wheat sheaf, Flint sliding the door open as you leave. It takes the entire journey back to the ship for your nerves to settle. The end of this ordeal is so close, and yet it feels like an impossible leap to get there. Perhaps in a handful of cycles you will know how impossible, or possible, it is. So, how are we feeling about the Solheim protocol in your head? Seraphim doesn't look up from installing the transponder, a set of wires and cables waving loosely around him in the low light of the cockpit. I mean, they're okay. Glad to hear it, although you'll have to forgive me for being a bit concerned. He begins unscrewing a panel beneath the flight console. Maybe you could have mentioned it earlier. I'm sorry, like, you know, having 3 god things living in your head is not exactly a conversation that you can break ice with. Seraphim clips his magnetic screwdriver to the side of the console's base and turns to face you, dusting off his hands. I have understood for a while now, Sleeper, that there are things you experience that I can't even come close to knowing how they feel. But that doesn't mean I don't understand you as a person. Seraphim gives you a concerned look. I know you're secretive, defensive, and I know that there are reasons for that. I also know you're warm and kind and generous to those on the ship with you. Seraphim pauses, collecting his thoughts. I trust you, Sleeper, and I won't question this. Well, yeah, you have to remember, if it weren't for me, you would not know what a cat looks like, which is still weird that you didn't know before. But please, hold on to what's human in you, because that is what I am holding on to. Seraphim stops, his eyes a little wild, his tone a little unsure. Then he finds himself again, settles his emotions, and turns back to the transponder. Hello, what are you? Oh, you're a little bit of dust. Sorry, I saw something like descending from the ceiling. I thought it was like a little spider, now it's just a bit of dust. Right, that's it. He twists something beneath the console. Smooth transponder is in. There's nothing keeping us out of dockside. You exchange a look. Say the word when you want to go. I will. I really need to pee. Should be good. I guess we're actually doing this then. Oh, we can just go there. Alright, well. Ooh. Alright, I'll take Cadet. And I'll take Bliss. Yeah. Oh wait, hang on. Alright, Sleeper, you want to do the honors? Seraphim is trapped in the pilot seat, guiding the rig towards dockside. You take the strip of plastic Carmen gave you and copy the frequency into the comms window of the console. You type a simple message. Heading in, good luck. Console triumphs, the message is sent. You hope Carmen is in range to receive it. Excuse me. I'm good. You search inside your mind, wanting to find Overseer there, but you feel no presence. And it's just Christmas was only a couple of days ago as of recording this. You hope they'll be ready when called for. You look ahead into the cockpit towards the distant glimmer of dockside. Time to take on lane. Time to take on a lake, I almost said. When Seraphim finally brings the rig into the sunward docks, everyone in the cockpit lets out a sigh of relief. The approach was simple, routine even. Checking in with the port administration, being assigned to a dock, bringing the rig to a stop. All of it familiar, but all of it laced with the tension of knowing that at any point it could all go very wrong. I've got really good dice as well, so I'm still worried. The spook's transponder worked, Seraphim shakes his head. So at least we know common's as good as his word. Is there any doubt? Well, Seraphim shrugs. I've gotten used to things not going to plan by now. Hey, it's not my fault, sometimes the game's just mean. He shuts down the engine and unclips from his seat. But I guess there's still plenty of time for that. You see Bliss nervously staring at the dark side. They notice you looking and smile a weak smile. The real test for Carmen is connecting with Ankita safely. If your turbo finds this up himself, she's in serious danger. Bliss seems as nervous as you have ever seen them, and you wonder if it is the job that is weighing on them or the possibility of seeing Ankita again. Oh yeah, I forgot that they were a thing. The game mentioned it, like, earlier. You tried to imagine Carmen somewhere on Darkside, perhaps smuggling himself aboard freighter or among the crew of a trusted ally. You hope he is as confident as he seems about finding Ankita. We need to spend less time worrying about what Carmen has to do and more about what's ahead of us. Seraphim turns to you. The old facility, Pep was it? I'm guessing that's deep below all this. Seraphim gestures towards the vast accumulation that is Darkside. Pardon me. A city that grew on the back of the Hapep solar cells layer by layer. Its chaotic structure is neither planned nor regulated. Little hiccup, but the foundations it is built on should be as formal as any corporate facility. That means we need a path down into the foundations, and I suggest we don't just take the first one we find, Seraphim continues. We scope the area out carefully and quietly, look for the right path into the heart of this place. What about Tsubo? Well, thanks to the spirit transponder, they don't know why we're here. Let's keep it that way. I should have asked about the common thing. That's what I meant to do. We're right behind you, Sleeper. Bliss forces a smile. Let's start the search. Seraphim nods. I'll hold the rig down. We don't want you losing your exit route, like last time you went. Hey. True, but still. Here, he hands you a comms earpiece. I salvaged this from a suit helmet. It isn't secure, but as long as Tsubo don't know we're here, it should be fine. I'll let you know as soon as I hear from Carmen, he meets you right. Go get this done, Sleeper. You nod. This is what it all comes down to. I forgot how much of this place there was. I think we're looking for the broken hex. Go over the edge. Here where the layers of the facility are exposed, it is possible to enter from the outside and explore inwards. Analyze layers. This part of the station is cracked open. Trying to understand the layers that have been exposed might help on the search. Might help the search, excuse me. The path down. Gaining access to the core of the old Hapep facility means exploring every path down to find the right descent. Shattered edge. Here where the old substructure is exposed might be the perfect place to gain entry to the station's core. Go the underpass and the broken X. No, that's where we just were. I think we have to investigate anyway. Search docks. To safely find a path down into the old station, the docks will need to be thoroughly searched without bringing any attention. Excuse me. Question crews. There are a lot of crews and workers in and around the docks. Perhaps they know about the path into the substructure. The path down, getting access to the... hang on. Getting access to the core of the old Hapep facility means to exploring... Oh yeah, okay. So I don't need to reread that one. Dog path. The docks are a winding maze of passages. Perhaps one leads into the old substructure. And the underpass. Deep road. The underpass cuts deep into the old substructure. Perhaps it can help you access the old core. I think this is one I'll take anyway. Hack bulkheads. Separating the layers of the station and its substructure are many bulkheads. Hacking them would provide access. Explore tunnels. In the walls around the underpass there are many tunnels. It seems some might lead deeper. Yeah, I'm reckoning we focus on this one. Oh no. Actually, maybe not. Because I want to try and get through it quick, but Cadet's dice aren't the best here. I'm pretty good here. Dock it. We'll dock it. We'll do the dock. Oh. Oh, we have to do all of them. Right. Fair enough. Bit weird, but fair enough. Oh yeah, do I take the one where none of us have a shot, or do I take the one where all of us have a shot? Oh, they're all linked to the top one. That makes sense, actually. I didn't pick up on that. Common's got... Sorry, Cadet, not Common. Cadet's got a badge, yeah. Lovely. Who deaded it, exactly? I didn't. Huh. It's gotta be something for Cadet, right? And... neither of us are much use here, so... no problem with a bit of a cycle. Okay. I mean, this should be enough to cash out. Yeah, lovely. As you are gliding down a dark tunnel, descending deeper below dockside, your earpiece begins hissing with static. Sleeper, Seraphine's voice sounds distant. Faint. Common, contact, met with target. You strain to hear the rest of the message, but the static overpowers his voice. You stop and push the earpiece in deeper. Continue. Stay safe. The goes dead. Bliss stops and turns back in the tunnel. Sounds like Common has made contact with Ankita. They look behind them. We should keep moving. The sooner we hit the mainframe, the better. You feel their concern for Ankita, despite everything. You continue your descent down, ducking under thick cables and collapsed beams. The busy urban life of the city above seems far away now, hidden from your senses. Its rumble and brightness has been replaced by the cloying dark and a growing oppressive heat. The dark side and the Hadpet facility it was built on has been running unrestrained ever since the collapse, gathering huge volumes of energy, more than its residents ever use. You feel like you can sense it in the walls, running like a torrent just behind the thin skin of metal and rubber. A large portion of the vast amount of current running through the station is radiated into the void as heat, making Dockside a typically humid station. But down here that heat is drier and more intense, and sections of wall glow with fiery intensity. The tunnel levels out and light blasts through shutter stripes viewing windows on either side, illuminating the passage in strips of burning light. Through the gaps you can see a labyrinth of walkways and scaffolding tucked into the margins of the vast solar cells. The heat washes across your vinyl skin, making you tense against it. The underside of Dockside must be crossed. Okay. Oh, so we have to go? But I want to help Cadet. I might get a chance to do that still, I'm not sure. Follow Hardline. The Hardline network of the old station will surely lead you back to the core if you can decipher it. Follow margins, backing with heat, and overcharged with electricity. It is best to avoid the solar cells and stick to the margins. Have pep descent. Now that you are inside the old facility, the problem is descending quickly and safely to the core. Wow, I'm kind of the only person that can handle this one. I don't like that. Okay, I'm not going to use my wand dice. Well, we are kind of boned. I really should have taken Eugene. I didn't because I didn't think we'd need him. I took who I thought would be the most story important people. Okay, I didn't think Bliss would be story important. I took Cadet specifically because of the thing that she has to do. So, but like, I just brought Bliss because, like, I was told to bring people I trust, and Bliss has been like the MVP of a lot of these. So I took them with me, and yeah. In your exploration of the Hepet facility, you have seen through viewing windows and shutter slats a huge blister projecting out among the hex-shaped cells. You have approached it, circled it, and now you find yourself passing into it through layer after layer of broken and corroded safety doors. Even if you had not felt Overseer stirring, you would know that this is the mainframe, but you have felt the protocol's presence, restlessly turning over in your mind like a sleeping animal, occasionally probing your senses, tracking your progress. We feel at home. Overseer's multiple bodies stretch out their arms as if basking in sunlight. The system's networks signals, they are fractured and weak, but we know them. Each of the broken heads shares part of a smile. That is creepy. They are welcoming us. Hey, Cadet shakes you awake. This is the place. She gives you a concerned look. Do I need to worry about what's going on in there? Okay, so it was smart I brought her. You look around, suddenly aware that you have drifted somewhere you do not recognize in a state you are not in control of. The spherical chamber you float within has a mezzanine set around its circumference, the floor a metal grating you can see through. On this mezzanine are banks and banks of terminals, thick gathered cables snaking away from them across the floor. All of it bakes in the heat of Hepep's vast resistors. I almost read that as vest for some reason, like heat vest. You follow those cables with your eyes. They lead to a cylindrical column coming down from the apex of the chamber. It is corroded and bent a little, with very few bits, thousands of lights still flickering. Even in its decayed state, you know immediately this is the mainframe. You feel a yearning towards it, one you know comes from Overseer, but as you look around for a connection point, all you see are burnt-out cables, rusted sockets, and broken terminals. The glow of warmth makes you feel woozy. You need to work quickly to bring this back online before the current overflowing through this place bakes you into the metal of its walls. Okay, new location. Just the one? Because I really want to help Cadet with her thing, and it's not letting me. Okay, well, we can all pitch in on this one, that's good. Reboot terminals. The mainframe terminals list millions of errors. They need to be rebooted before they can be used. Repair connectors. There is no way to interface with the ruined mainframe without clean connectors. Can this even work? Well, considering that Cadet has 2 4-on-6 die. Sis? Yes. Say. Sorry. Mainframe access. The mainframe is in a terrible state. It needs work before Overseer can be given access. Hello, Hollywood Laser Queen. Whoever the hell you are. Right, yeah, we should be able to get this done one go. Wonderful. No. We want, yeah, we want that. I almost completely fucked that up. I mean, I wouldn't have fucked it up, I had like an extra chance, but still. I very much enjoyed this game, it's almost time for a replay. I'm almost done with it. I've really enjoyed it so far, much more than the first one. The column of the mainframe pulses with fractured lights, a scattered wave of systems awakening, accompanied by the whine and stutter of the machines all around. This thing is powering up. Cadet looks around the room now, shaking and shimmering with energy. This is just a big terminal, right? Because it feels like something much scarier than that. You reach out for the primed connector, and with your other hand, touch the socket at the base of your synthetic skull. As you do, a sharp shock runs through your fingers. Nothing worse than a static jolt. I hate those. My dad had a really bad one the other day. It was kind of funny though. For a moment, it feels like your vision doubles, but as you pull the connector and its cable across your he's alive, by the way, just to clarify. And its cable across your vision, you see it is only your body that is doubling. The connector, a stable object, while your arm leaves ghostly imprints through the air. You wave it back and forth, but the multiplied arms do not follow. Each instead takes on a life of its own, grabbing around your forearm and wrist, taking control of your arm. You feel their force as they push your arm across your body over your shoulder. They push once more, and the connector finds its home in the socket. That familiar flow, but stronger, rushing, rapid. Then a figure, no, 3 figures, descending into it. A swimmer stepping into a river, a sleeper drifting out of an airlock, a symbol being subsumed into a sign. And you, little more than a witness, a marionette, its strings outstretched, snapped hand to hand, leg to leg, to another. The flow freezes, the three figures almost overlapping, almost complete, but not quite. Their troubled eyes look back at you in horror. The voice shrill, silent in your head. There's someone else here. Heat glazing your thick vinyl skin, the mainframe a whirring chaos of light and sound. Gotta be Lane that's there. It has to be. A brightness and then it fades, the light shutting off, the servers powering down. A single blinking light, the only thing left on the dark column, keeping time like a metronome. Oh shit. Cadet looks at the dark column of the mainframe. This thing just died. You close your eyes and try to recall the events that happened when you connected, playing them back in greater detail. Overseer was there, entering the mainframe, but something froze the system, locked them in place. What did they say? Someone in there with them. You open your eyes. Was this a trap? Someone else took control. As you speak, a physics static fills one ear. You flinch, thinking it is some new invasion of your system, but then you hear Seraphim through the haze. Sleeper, come now. Waiting. The rig. It's no use. You'll have to ascend to... It's no use! You'll have to ascend to find out what's going on topside, excuse me. You look at the mainframe with a single blinking light, still keeping time. It looks like Overseer will have to wait. Trapped in the mainframe, Overseer is still the key to all this. You hope you can get the protocol out, but you need to hear what Seraphim has to say first. You make your way out of the core, ascending back through the layers of the HAPEP, back into the docks. Seraphim meets you at the docking tunnel. They are waiting inside. He shakes his head and nods towards the airlock. Come on. You cross into the ship in silence and find Common in the cockpit looking out at the dark side as it sprawls across the stars. Sleeper, Common turns. Sorry to pull you away, but we need to know what's coming. What's going on? This idiot blew my cover. You turn as Ankita enters the cockpit behind you and Seraphim. You immediately clog the fresh bandage sleeve around her right forearm. I think you did a pretty good job of that yourself, Common retorted. You see a twinkle in his eye that suggests this back and forth is a well-practiced part of their relationship. Perhaps, but we'll never know now, not after you intervene to rescue me. A hand goes from to her bandaged arm almost instinctively. Can someone explain what happened, please? I passed the data to Ankita and she tried to broach it with Utsubo. Common folds his arms, but Lane was more paranoid than we expected. He was listening in. Either that or his lapdog Daichi ratted us out. She shakes her head. I would have put him down if he hadn't gotten the jump on me. Either way, Common cuts back in calmly. I had to pull Ankita out. Common turns back to look over Dockside. The information did get through though, and now Utsubo is in crisis as its members side with or against Lane. Meanwhile, Daichi is hunting us. I don't like that Daichi, by the way, he's a little sleazebag. Ankita screws up her face, which means we need to be careful. That's why I called you in. Seraphim puts a hand on your shoulder. You need to watch your back. Accidentally skipped that. Indeed, Common turns to face you, but how about the mainframe? Have you been successful? I didn't see what I didn't click. I accidentally pressed A. You explained the events of the cycle, the mainframe booting up, the successful connection, and then an Overseer being locked inside frozen by some other force. You mentioned their warning, there's someone else in here. Well, apparently I picked the right thing. Common nods thoughtfully. Unfortunately, we need that mainframe more than ever. With Ankita out of Utsubo, we have to get the word out. Common's right, Utsubo will be distracted by these revelations, but it won't last. Without further proof, they'll all line up behind Lane in time. We need the mainframe. Agreed, that's our first priority. If your protocol is being locked in by some counter-protocol or agent, I wouldn't be surprised if it can be traced back to Utsubo. Ankita looks at Common. I know the locations of a few of the Utsubo network codes. We should hit them first. No, we need to stay under the radar. Sleeper and their crew will investigate the nodes quietly. Common nods. You and I will run interference. Keep Utsubo away from those locations as best as we can. What if we don't find anything? Utsubo uses the hardline network of the old facility. If it isn't them locking down the mainframe, it's someone using the infrastructure. You think of the feeling of stasis you felt when Overseer was trapped, and the power required to halt the flow of a mainframe as vast and ingrained as the HAPEP one. Could it just be an Utsubo hacker? You doubt it. I mean, it could just be Lane himself, because he did attack me earlier. Seems you have a plan. Seraphim looks between you all. That we do, and we'll need you to keep running comms between us. Common turns to you. Sleeper, Ankita will give you the locations to dig into, but keep it quiet. Daichi is out there, and he isn't as easily avoided as some low-ranking enforcer. He's got sandals, too. Ankita slaps the top of a couple of crates of supplies you hadn't noticed before. Consider these a parting gift from my tenure at Utsubo. Swipe them away from a gang storehouse, she grins. Thought you might need a resupply. I appreciate that, thank you. Alright, Common addresses the room. Keep quiet and keep in touch. We can still pull this off. Oh, I hope so. Right. So we have 3 nodes. Tower node. And I'm assuming we have to do all of... Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I don't really have any dice for this, but I may as well read it out. Scale tower. Scaling the tower to get closer to the physical network architecture will make access a lot easier, but it's an impressive climb. Hack node 03. At the apex of a tower, this node needs to be hacked through its lower subnodes without alerting Utsubo. Node 03. This network access code is on the top floor of a tower, so physical and digital access will be tricky. Hack trace. It generally takes accessing through network nodes to identify the protocol or agent interfering with the mainframe. Market node. Hack node 02. The network access node is tucked beneath the dockside markets and will be hard to precisely locate. Hack trace. It generally takes accessing 2 network codes to identify the protocol or agent. Oh, yeah. Didn't I read that before? I did, okay. I was just making sure. This access node is under a bustling market. It will have to be hacked remotely despite the risk of tracing the hack. Got a better chance with this one. Tail enforcers. The node seems to be inside a new turbo safe house. By following an enforcer in, you might be able to access it physically. Dock node, pardon me. Hack node 01. The physical architecture of this node sits in the middle of a dock thoroughfare, so access attempts need to be concealed. Node 01. This network access node is part of the Utsubo docking infrastructure. It's in the open, which presents its own problems. Bypass node. As the... Also, Cadet has no use for any of these roles. That's not good. Bypass node. As the node is so exposed, it might be better to find and splice into the hard line to connect upstream from it at a safe distance. I may as well give this a shot and give myself an opening. There we go. Right. Yeah, by the way, Ankita, you have no clue how much I appreciate the resupply. Okay, that's good stuff. I say we focus on this and try and hardline it. Thank you, game. I'm glad I only have to do 2 of them. Yeah, baby! That's what I was waiting for. That's what it's all about. Oh man, okay. Do I risk stress on Cadet by going for that? Oh, fuck. I don't want to stress myself because I don't want to break a dice. Cadet, I'm sorry in advance. Like, neither of these are good options. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. You know what, fuck it, I'll take a bullet, sure. And it paid off? Holy hell! I don't believe it. Com stared through the shutters of the viewing window at a smooth squat ship. So I got super lucky there. Tucked into the derelict bay between the hexes. How long has it been here? When the nodes were hacked and the trace established, you imagined it might lead to a new super operator, or perhaps an old subnode containing an aggressive solving protocol, gone mad with isolation. Not this. Never this. A Senate stat ship, tucked into the belly of Doctor like a parasite. We need to move on that ship now. Ankita is already adjusting her gear, preparing for an assault. We can hit Nutsubo safe house for weaponry. There's one. Common holds up a hand. This is a gift to Ankita. Don't be so brash. He turns back to face the both of you. All we had until now was data conversations. Evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane. But a Senate stat ship hidden inside the station? Cobb nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who would give up everything to protect Darkseid from the war. Sorry, just give everything, not give up everything. I misread that. Coleman turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction. We turn Darkseid on the ship. And on Lane at the same time, Coleman nods grimly. We leak it all, send it out through the mainframe. The ship's location, The evidence of Lane's betrayal, all of it. You're forgetting one thing, Ankita interrupts. Oh, hang on. No. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry, my stream completely fucking crapped out on me for some reason. I don't remember where I was, but just in case, I'll start from this point. All we had until now was data, conversations, evidence easily denied or destroyed by Lane. But is Enderstat ship hidden inside the station? Common nods grimly. There are hundreds of crews, thousands of residents who give everything to protect Darkseid. Sorry, give everything to protect Darkseid from the war. Common turns back to the ship, silhouetted against the starlight. All we need to do is point them in the right direction, and on Lane at the same time, Common nods grimly. We'll leak it all. Send it through the mainframe, the ship's location. The evidence of Lane's betrayal, all of it. You're forgetting one thing, Ankita interrupts. Until that ship leaves or is taken, they still have the mainframe locked down. We can't blast out its location through the network without taking on first. Common pauses, considering his options. You look out at the Senate stat ship, half concealed in the bay. It looks sleek, dangerous. What defenses might a ship like that deploy? And threatened. Common and Ankita exchange looks. Then we attack first. Common and I will distract the ship's occupants, turn their focus away from the mainframe. Then you, Sleeper, hit the mainframe and force them out. As soon as Overseer is released, you send out everything. Once it hits the network, our backup will come. He gives Ankita a grim look. We only have to hold them off for as long as it takes for the other crews to realize what's happening. The plan feels desperate, and you know that Common and Ankita will think so too. It is a bit risky, yeah. Will Darkseid really mobilize against the ship so quickly? 2 old mercs against an unknown Senate force feels like an unwinnable battle. We know the stakes, Sleeper. Ankita takes a deep breath. We can handle them. Ankita frowns, an unpleasant thought passing through her mind. I have given up everything to get Utsubo out. Let me finish the job. But why? No, okay. Ankita nods. Go to the mainframe and get set up. When you're ready to connect, let us know. Common puts a hand on his shoulder. Once you start, don't stop for anything. Get the data out. He meets your eye. We will handle ourselves. I really hope neither of them die. You turn and glide away, looking over your shoulder at the 2 ex-mercenaries as they discuss their plan of attack, seeing them slip back into those old rows. Seeing them slip back into those old roles, you can't help but wonder, does anyone ever outrun their past? Or is it always waiting there in the dark to claim you in the end? Girl, I'm so tongue-tied whenever you are near me. Tied, tongue-tied whenever you're in town. Flippity flippity flop. See, that fits as well because that's because the show that song's from is set in space. Pep course, Allheim mainframe. Repair hack. You must have. You might just have a few moments to pull these stat hackers out. The more you can prepare, the better. Isolate mainframe. Cutting away all the secondary lines and systems, leaving just the main line, will make it easier to locate the Senate stat hackers. Hack back. Hack back. You need to prepare to force the Senate stat hackers out of the system. Once Common and Ankita strike, you won't have much time. Okay, well... Cadet, you're the only one with the dice. And you did not fail me, I appreciate that. Also, goddamn, it's weird being under a thing. Like, usually in this game, we're used to, like, being on top of the locations or going around them, but being directly underneath one is so weird to me. Kinda cool, though. Yeah, we might as well just make this easy on ourselves. A kaboom! The heat inside the HAPEP core is intense as you stare at the column of the mainframe, its one blinking light still keeping time. Seems ready, Cadet wipes sweat from her brow. Only one way to find out, I guess. You look around the ragged bay, time to give Common the go-ahead. You glance at Ankita's thumbnail drive, now slotted in the main terminal, containing a data packet with everything you need to unseat Lane and reveal the Senate stat ship. You hope it'll be enough. You hold a finger to your earpiece and let Seraphine know to relay the message through to Common. Alright, Seraphine's voice is heavy with worry. I'll tell them. A long pause. Be safe, sleeper. Get this done and come back. Stop worrying about me. Too late now. You can hear the smile in his voice over the comms. I've made a habit of it. The comms click off a Seraphine switches comments channel. You wait, imagining the conversation, the terse words activating the plan. You wait long enough for Carmen and Ankita to nod to each other, long enough for them to drop down through the base in silence, to check the weapons they saw from Utsubo, to check their positions, and then to make their move. You grab the connector and hold it behind your head, close to your access port. You silently count to 3 and then connect. At first, nothing has changed. You drop into a state of stasis, a small dark space with no cracks. The mainframe is locked down, shut off, squeezed inside the grip of a clenched fist. Then you see it, a trickle of light, a flicker of threads. Overseer flows into space, and the torrent begins to run. The rushing grey pulse of data, the connective threads, the jewel of the mainframe, they grow inside the space, and the space in turn grows. We see you there, Sleeper. Overseer separates and reforms within the expanding landscape. Who is this other? An enemy. Overseer's 3 heads nod. Then we will do what is necessary. Overseer explodes. The points and lines of light that had described its human form separate and multiply. Constellations bursting outward like a tree of stars. Overseer becomes plural. As they do, the darkness is pushed back and the extent of the mainframe is revealed. It is a stack of jeweled surfaces, each revealing more facets as the angle changes. From these facets, threads project, cutting out across the dark side, past that stretch the length of the entire station. Their arrangement is an invitation. You accept their invitation, sending yourself skimming through the lines of light. Saying how the station connects and hums with flow of data, you see the highest tower, the lowest text, and then the origin of the dark. A squiggle of black wrestles. I must have misread that as black wrestlers, I'm so sorry. A squiggle of black wrestles around a single point. The Sentinel ship, now a battleground. You see flashes of flickers as Overseer dances around it and cuts at it. But looking around, you may see Overseer is everywhere now, multiplied into 1,000 forms. Reunited with a system designed to serve them, they dissolve into it. You suddenly remember what needs to happen, what you need them to do. You send out separate requests, summoning Overseer, reminding them of your agreement. You take the bright polygon of the data packet and present it like an offering to Overseer, who is diffused, crackling all around you. Euphoric in their reconstitution as a functional protocol. You receive no response. There is nothing more than a whisper, snatched away on the flow of data rushing by. And then you hear the static in your earpiece, Seraphine's desperate cry for a response. You see a bright point suddenly close, inside the core with you, a broadcast going out from it like the beam from a lighthouse. You reach back and pull on the connector, just to clear the brightness from your eyes, just to block the broadcast. I found you. Lane floats in the mainframe, sweats across his brow, his eyes steely cold. I finally found you. Cadet slams into Lane, swinging her fists and screaming at him. You freeze, watching Lane fight back, hearing Seraphine's voice shimmering in your earpiece, passing on Common's desperate request for aid. You kick off from the terminal behind you, gliding through the flickering lights that emanate from the mainframe. As you do, a bright crack and flicker fires and you see a figure fall back stunned. You cannot slow your approach and you slam into Lane. A crack and flicker again, a bright pain that locks your body in spasms. Lane with a weapon, something boxy in his hand. Your friend stunned just out of reach. Lane's face lodged in your vision, smile like knives. The finger of Lane's carrier signal reach inside your mind. Sorry, the fingers of Lane's carrier signal. You are boxed into the viewing window behind your eyes, a passenger in your own body. Lane is in control. Oh, it's so much easier now that I'm prepared. It's almost a seamless switch. Lane's face is in your vision, but his mouth does not move. And the duality of it, like a mirror turned to face itself. In perfect unison, you and Lane lift your hands in front of your face and turn them, inspecting them. You feel sickened, a flare of panic going off in your mind. Look at this! Lane opens and closes your fists with a motion like a wave that runs finger to finger. There are improvements to be made, but this is remarkable. Lane's eyes look into your eyes, a perfect loop. I always knew your body was a gift, Sleeper, from the moment I first saw you. A gift you could not recognize because you only saw a burden, something to be escaped from, but I saw what it was. Lane's eyes flash. An opportunity. Like a puppet, you are turned to face the mainframe. You glide forward a little, hands reaching for the access terminal. Ankita's drive glints there, in a slot. Control none of this. Lane's voice. Imagine being more than one body. More than one agent of the world to do your bidding. Oh, sorry, imagine having more than one body. Your hand reaches down, finger and thumb pinching delicately around the drive. It's a thrilling thought and one I've harbored for a long time. With a short, sharp motion, you pull the drive free. Then I saw you, my Sleeper, and I knew I must have you. Dude, buy me a drink first. You hear Seraphim's voice in your ear. Sleeper, Common needs the signal to go out now. There is panic in his voice. They can't hold out any longer. No matter how hard you try, your lips do not move. No words can be produced. You feel your hand under Lane's control. Reach up and pull the earpiece out, letting it float away into the chamber. I knew I shouldn't have tried to fight him, but I just don't like this guy. Enough distractions. Your other hand holds up on Kit's drive, turning it on the light in front of your eyes. Some time ago, I set myself the task of changing you from a hollow thing to a vessel to be filled. Your finger and thumb transfer the drive to your palm, and now I am able, with the help of my allies, to fill you up. I am more than singular now, more than flesh and blood, more than you in my ambition and my desire, and that means you are surplus to me now. Your fist closes hard around the drive, crushing it to dust. Weak and broken thing. Your time is over. Lane's other body approaches you and lays its hands on either side of your head. You feel the pressure. You cannot move. You cannot resist. And then a spark, as one of Lane's fingers slips and depresses a little into the access port in your head. There is a flicker, the flash of something passing through the spaces between, something writing a signal back to its broadcaster. We have not forgotten. You hear Overseer. They are reconstituted. We are ready to act as one. Overseer holds the bright data packet in a single hand. You beauty! I was actually worried. We were broken, we were many, but now we are whole and we appreciate what you've done. Overseer shapes the data packet into a point, a bright spear of light. The spear extends through your mind gently, harming nothing of you. Instead, its point finds the mind of the other, of Lane, and pierces it directly. You hear Lane scream as his implants burn in his skull, his head flaring bright white on the cloud. And then, when that mind has gone dark and the pressure on the sides of your head has receded, the packet explodes across the network, white-hot and urgent. In its wake, data points are seeded, conversations, coordinates, a conspiracy. At the furthest point of the network, its distant edge, the data packet arrives with little more force than a notification, delivered to every device and terminal within its range. But here, at the epicenter, it blasts through you with such power that, for a moment, every thought, every idea, every piece that might make up a self, is wiped cleanly from your mind.